Radio check, loud and clear.
Hello there, welcome back to the Canada Challenge. We're going to continue where we left off with the end of our first season, a season that didn't really go well, but it is what it is. We have a no driver issue, but we actually need to find a new driver. Could actually pick up Albon here again as a reserve. Let's see who's actually free agent. We have Alonso, Gasly, Vettel, Albon. Let's sort by age, because what we really need is just talent. We could actually race Behrman here. Get ourselves a bit of a challenge. We could also race Pusher. Honestly, I'm feeling like we want to race Pusher, because we are looking for a reserve driver. 5 seasons. How much do you want to give him? 300? See how he feels about that. Ooh, he did not like 5 seasons, and he did not like the money. So, let's try and give him a pre-season, 500,000. See if he feels better about that. Because we actually do need to get a new driver. And he does speak French, so he's honorarily Canadian, I believe. I believe Pusher is French, although I might have just pissed off a lot of people by saying that. Okay, let's see, what else did we want to do? Start new season preparation. Now, the thing is, there's no races here, so it doesn't matter that we're missing key parts. We are not going to be changing out any staff, although they do have points that I will invest before we continue. We're actually lacking a bit of high speed, so let's give it a little bit of a boost there. And we do want to upgrade the pit crew management for both of our race engineers, as that is kind of critical at this point. But yeah, I think we're actually ready now to start a new season, surprisingly enough. So there are a few things that we need to do now. Sponsor obligations, deal with them first. Merchandising, money isn't really an issue, but even then, let's get as much as we can. Race sim events, can't actually bring that further down. Its crew performance will decrease forever. Yeah, this one's bad. Memorabilia room. Again, the money is so little that there's no real reason for us to do this. Both. Driver experience gain is paused. Okay. Let's nerf Stroll. We need to give the king every chance he can to catch up. And of course, we're not going to be putting on any more obligations, although that would actually be quite limiting to our progress. Okay, sponsorship value has been decided. Our goal is 9th or above. We didn't reach that by getting 9th, so that's good. We are still only have 2 seasons though to get the score points 50% of this season races. I think we'll get there. I'm not too worried. Balance is looking good. I don't think we have anything to be concerned about that. Technical, we do lose a bit of stats here, as you can see. Everything got hit by a 10% penalty, if I am not misremembering. And I am going to say that at the end of the season, after we can't actually manufacture any other car parts, we are going to be allowed to upgrade, so to speak, to do research, if we so wishes. Now, the prize pool has actually been lowered by a little over 1 million, which means we're going to go where? Pole position does not grab bonus points, so does the last race, double points. So we have maximum potential, and we're going to go with Renault here, because even though they are supposedly a little bit quicker than Merc engines, they really aren't. They also start losing power earlier, and generally aren't. They were the slowest when I tested them, and I still believe that they are. And since we're so close to the next game, I just don't want to set up the scenario again where I can test the engines. Okay, we're now into seasons 2 officially. We have welcomed Porsche. Car part development is open. ATR period starts today. And allocations, looks like we're good. Team roster updates. Let's see if we see anything fun here. Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Bottas, Gasly. Vettel and Albon. Okay. Alonso is still there. Ricky Norris, Schumacher, Magnussen, Guan Yu, Tsunoda. Tsunoda and Aston Martin. That's an interesting one. But we are now in Season 2, which allows us to upgrade our facilities to Level 2. And that is actually going to be the first thing we're going to do here. We're going to start the upgrades of virtually everything, even suspension and car part test center, because we can. The staff facilities, we're going to get Team Hub upgraded because extra experience is always nice. Same for the race sim. We're not going to touch the scouting department at all. There's no point. And honestly, even though helipad would be nice for extra payouts, I don't think we're going to be touching anything in this tab. We don't really need to. However, we are going to be making new parts, and the question is what we want to make. Because since we're in Season 2, we're no longer allowed to use CFD and wind tunnel on our underfloor, our rear wing and our front wing. So I think what we are going to do here is immediately get a suspension in the cooker, and I think that is the best value that we're going to get out of our CFD this early. Of course, we're going to go race performance. Brake cooling is going to become even more terrible, but it will give us a slight boost here, particularly in the high-speed cooling department. But it's not huge. We're gonna be struggling a little bit this season, but that's fine. That is the part we've chosen. Second one, no-brainer, underfloor. Even just a basic upgrade is gonna be highly valuable to our high speed, apparently. So, do we want to go low speed? It would balance things out a bit. And I think we're gonna have to this season just focus on the high speed performance. As you can see, even with this, our underfloor is currently the first one in the high speed performance, and we do need to catch up a little bit on the low speed end of things, I think. So, although not the best thing, might need to do this. If we were to change it to high speed, how much? 0.04. Yeah, I think we are going to have to do this. We do need to balance things out a little bit. That's actually the wrong one. Although optimized aero isn't the worst idea here, because that actually gives us a bit of a boost for both. Maybe that's what I should have been doing earlier. We'd sacrifice a lot of top speed by doing this, but we'd catch up in a lot of the others. So the way that I'm looking at this, I think we're going to do low speed, just to get that intense boost in there, and then we'll do optimized aero for the next one. Because we do need to start balancing, particularly the underfloor a little bit. And this is the way that we can do it. So it'll be done in 62 days, plenty of time before the Bahrain Grand Prix. And if we're lucky, we might also get, you know, one of the wings done as well. Probably the front wing. We'll see. I think that was everything we wanted to do now. I'm just double checking. Don't really need to put in any points before we do the first race of the season. Staff hasn't magically gotten any points. Let us continue. So yeah, while I have the opportunity, I do have a new microphone, as you might have realized. And I'm still setting it up. I'm using my old boom arm, which puts it into a very weird position, where sometimes I'll be really loud, sometimes really low. I have actually ordered my new set, microphone, boom arm, pop filter in one package, and the company decided to send them one at a time. Pop filter arrived first, 3 days ago. Microphone arrived today. So it's a weird one. Suspension center is being upgraded, so we don't need to worry about that. The fact that it's in poor state right now. Team Hub upgraded, neat, and we also have our suspension. And of course, we're going to make 4 of them. We have plenty of time to get that done for the Bahrain GP. And we also do want to immediately start making a new part. So we're still talking about the rule that we can't make a second one until we have made every other part. But as you can see, even with this, if we were to make a race performance one, it would still give us quite a significant boost. So we'll be trying to get this made as soon as possible. Now with that said, we do want to make a wing, and I think the front wing is just the best option here for us. Gonna make a low speed performance front wing. And as you can see, it would actually impact the performance of the high speed a little bit. But I think we might have to. Let's have a look at what we can, if we can try and make a high speed rear wing where we would be at. And that would actually, as you can see, nerf the front wing there in the same manner. We would get a little bit of a boost to our top speed and acceleration, but not massively so. So what I'm thinking here is that we'll focus low speed until Baku and Monaco, basically. And hopefully that will pay off. So we're going to try and get a front wing out here. And we're going to put it for low speed. Again, high speed is going to suffer. It's just a sacrifice we're going to have to make. Do it on intense. And we'll get it done before Bahrain. So we'll have 3 upgrades by then. So yeah, car part test center upgraded. Should help with a little bit of cooling there. Which honestly we're probably going to need because our cooling has generally been on downward trending. And there we go. We also have the suspension center, which helps their brake cooling. Tool center in poor condition. Again, not really a concern. It's still making us money. Mobilia room, morale, team attractiveness. I guess morale would be nice, but I can live with it. The factory, though, even if it's just a single percentage point, nah, we'll be greedy. We'll be Scrooging. We'll be Scrooging a little bit more. So since we're gonna probably have more points going for us this season, I'm gonna see how many parts I end up cutting the season into. I'm thinking maybe start splitting the season into 4, since I'm still cutting out a lot of the material. Maybe 3 parts, we'll see. But generally, I'll try and make the episodes around an hour and a half, as they have been. And Safety Center has been upgraded, which is actually quite significant for us. This is actually a pretty big boost, so I don't think it will have an effect on what we've already made, though, unfortunately. We'll see. Underfloor has been completed. And Prix has already gotten himself 2 development points for us. Was safety sim the only thing? The underfloor is completed? Is it? I guess it is. Okay. The question is what we start on now. I think we do start on the rear wing. And the rear wing is going to be high speed. It's going to have a little bit of an effect on our low speed. But I still think we need to... we should probably try and balance it somewhat. But let's get it to first in, you know, these things before we start doing other things. I really wish there was a... like the DRS focus here. Because right now there isn't. No matter what we do, we can't really get the DRS to be very, very high. So we'll focus it on high speed, intense, get that cooking. We do need to, there we go, underfloor design complete. We do need to manufacture it. I thought my game froze there for a sec, my bad. And we'll have them in time for the Bahrain GP, the first race of the season. Wind tunnel upgrade has been completed, very good. And actually, a lot more to do this preseason than I expected. New ATR period starts today, and the front wing finished at the same time, just perfect. We are going to be manufacturing them, 6 of them, and they should be more than, we'll have 5 of them for the race, which should be plenty. Also, develop a new part here. I think the Sidepods is what we're going to do, because we are going to be putting safety time into it. So, Sidepods it is. And let's see here. Even then, it won't be a huge upgrade, as you can see. It's a small upgrade across the board. It'll bring our stats a little bit better into, you know, the area. But generally, we'll get some drag reduction, a little bit of airflow. And it's honestly an okay upgrade. Don't get me wrong, but still. We're going to be very limited this season on the CFD front. That's fun. It makes the game more interesting. So I think we are getting very, very close here to our first race this season. And I'm really looking forward to how we're stacking up, honestly. It's gonna be interesting to see. So the post Bahrain testing results, the car is definitely better than last year's, but that's what you'd expect with really a player at the helm. I'm just putting it into braking for Teo here, although we probably should have put it into reactions. Stroll has actually got himself a point, which goes into braking, bringing his pace stats to 75 overall. And Latifi, unfortunately, does not have a point himself, which is kind of sad. Now, before we start this weekend's race, I do want to go into the analysis. But before we do that, we are going to be slapping the new parts on the car. And as you can see, this will be minor upgrade. It will hurt high speed cornering a bit, but that's just, we're just going to have to live with that. The underfloor will be an upgrade all around. Let's get that on the car. And lastly, the new suspension. So, with these 3 parts, let's see where we actually stack up on the car analysis. So, we've made a pretty average car now with what we've added, as you can see. We're 15th, 17 low speed, 17 high speed in dirty air, which honestly is what we should be focusing on. We're going to be behind a lot of cars here. So, Haas was basically who we were fighting last season, and they're 3rd in low speed cornering. They've really made some strides here. This could get interesting. Let's see, AlphaTauri. Okay, very quick. Astons. They are the slowest car there. The only thing they have someone beaten is top speed and acceleration. Okay, so the Alfa Romeo, though, this is looking interesting. 3rd top speed. They might be able to do some shenanigans. Alpine, kind of falling back a little bit. Red Bull, still 1st in top speed, unsurprisingly. Still a very powerful car. How are Ferrari looking? King of the high speed, but they are losing out low speed. Mercedes. Mercedes made a very good car for turning. They might actually have some championship potential this year. And McLaren. Okay, so just stat-wise, we could potentially beat McLaren and Aston. Haas has made strides, so that's going to be difficult for us, but we'll see. For now, though, I won't take any performance targets. We're going to have to see how we do here at Bahrain. Let's get through to qualifying and see how we do during the race. See if anything interesting happens for the first race of the season. And again, I'd just like to apologize. I saw my microphone spike there. I'll try and fix it in editing, but we'll see how it works. So, let's get this season started for real and see where we stack up. Start of season 2. Quali did not go well, as you can see. 17th, 18th, the only ones that we beat were the Astons. McLaren, though, saved by 600s. This is kind of what we expected, though, honestly. As we develop the car, it might get a little bit better. Alpha, though, very surprising. They actually could be a danger here. Merck disappointed a little bit. Magnussen managed to get into Q3, so bit of a weird start to the season. We'll see if anything interesting happens during the race.
Understood.
First race of the season. First Latifi era. Let's see what happened.
Let's take a look at the replay. Now we see the Williams here.
Did he at least take out the Aston? He kind of did, but I think he suffered more than the Aston did.
Yeah, the wing.
Okay, so we're definitely going to be changing the wing. We're going to be pitting a little bit earlier than what we wanted to, but we are going to be going on to the mediums, and we're just going to hope for a safety car, I guess. Nothing else we really can do. And luckily for us, nothing else took damage there, but I assume this is going to be a slam dunk penalty. As you can see, no big surprise there. So this should be what happened to Latifi again.
We're watching Nicholas Latifi.
And honestly, what's letting us down here is our driver. Stroll's been doing good, to be fair, but he has been helped by Leclerc having a spin. He's basically been finding Ricciardo for most of the race so far. And generally, yeah, it's going to be a hard season, I think. We are definitely going to need to take advantage of the other team's weaker engine states, basically. So we'll continue and we'll see how this race goes. Right before the first pit stop, Stroll 15th, Latifi 20th. We might have a beneficial situation here. We've had multiple cars crash and a safety car. Now the thing is, a lot of the cars here actually pitted
DRS is currently
just
disabled.
before. So this is
DRS
actually
disabled.
a blessing. It's also a
Let's
Merc
have a look.
out.
Now,
Let's
just
see what
watch
exactly
the
happened here.
Mercedes here.
Same corner,
You can
but
clearly see the contact there, and that caused a lot of
I think we
damage.
might need to call an ambulance for Russell. He really, really hit that wall hard. Shame for Latifi, unfortunately, just how it be. Even if he pushes, I don't think it will help. But as I said, some of the cars have already started pitting, and some of these are actually people that we can potentially beat. Vettel, Norris, Magnussen. Well, maybe not Vettel, but you get the idea. We have what is potentially now a fairly free pit stop. We just need to push with Stroll, get him in, and I would assume those that haven't pitted yet, all of them to pit. And we are. So the question now is, where do we come out? Because again, our pit crew isn't the best. 2.8 second stop time, and we didn't really beat a lot of the people that we wanted to beat out of the pits. To be fair though, we did win out here. We're out in 12th. We were 15 before this, but in all honesty, we only beat 2 people out. So not great, but not terrible either. Latifi, as I said, just no chance of actually getting anyone out of the pits here. Hopefully we can do well in the restarts. Hards here are pretty bad. Generally don't want to use them, so we'll see how this race ends up by the next pit stop maybe. Here we are. We just finished our final pit stop. As you can see, we actually have Leclerc and Hamilton doing the same just behind us, and that is going to be a bit of a potential threat here. Now, the cars in front of us pitted a few laps earlier than us, and as you can see, we're about 5 seconds behind Vettel. Vettel is on mediums though. Magnussen is also mediums, and well, it's about 8 seconds, so 14 laps to go. Let's see if we can somehow catch up that little bit of extra gap here. Latifi has also kind of made up some places, so this race so far has been going better than I expected. Alright, we're on the final lap of the race. As you can see, Latifi's down in 14th. Stroll is doing everything he can here to try and get into the points. Unfortunately, we're just slightly too slow. We're going to get most likely 11th or 12th. But surprise winners here, Gasly and Bottas, potentially. So that could be a very interesting season here, because I don't think I've actually seen a dominating alpha, and if I've seen it, I've definitely forgotten it. But yeah, this could actually be really, really interesting. Both our cars ended higher than we expected, mainly because Leclerc and Hamilton had a few moments going. So yeah. 11th though is not where we really wanted to be, but we really used all we could from tires in that last stint. The cars in front of us just kept on DRSing off each other, meaning that we had even a harder job of catching up than one might have thought. But this was an interesting start to the race. Our drivers made no errors. There were a bunch of driver errors from the other teams. So looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Gasly wins. Bottas second. Sainz third. Ocon fifth. Red Bull's 4th and 6th. AlphaTauri is 7th and 9th. And, well, not a great start for Mercs or Ferrari. And I think this could actually be a very, very fun season, just seeing how this first race is shaped up. So looking forward to seeing how the rest of this actually pans out. Drivers' Championship. Again, no surprise there. Alpha. I'm looking forward to seeing how they stand in 21 races time. Latifi does get development point though. This is good experience. We are gonna be languishing per share a bit because we do need that extra bit of experience on our drivers so they can actually be, you know, challenged for points. Our wing has been manufactured. It's not done, and we'll have the next race before we get a new part anyways. We will, however, upgrade Latifi's braking a little bit, and we should be happy with that. So we're exceeding expectation, board very happy. Very unfortunate we couldn't get that point, but hopefully we can get some more during the season. We'll see how it goes. as we head into Jeddah. Well, yeah, not exactly as in Bahrain, so we're probably going to need some upgrades before we can actually start being more competitive in qualification, unfortunately. Been a pretty boring race at Jeddah so far. We're currently pitting Latifi. We're going to go for the one-stop, hard to medium. The goal is to try and use the hards to kind of keep up. But a lot of the cars around us are doing basically the same strategy, so we'll see if it pays off. Stroll currently in 12th, about to pit. Latifi, after pitting, down in last place. So we'll see if this pays off or not. And it's quite a bit of a gamble. So the gamble kind of paid off here. As you can see, Stroll is up in the points, but there's a couple of problems. For starters, we burned a little bit too much fuel. I was focusing on the times. And secondly, the car behind us does have better tires, and potentially will have also Schumacher in the medley. But I am hopeful, and as long as we can stay with Albon here, we might be able to make something happen. So I'll play it slow, we'll harvest, and we'll see if we can maybe edge out a point here. Unfortunately, not too much here we can actually do. As you can see, we have been overtaken by Ocon and Schumacher. Again, not too much we could do here. We tried a strategy that potentially could have a good payoff for us, but unfortunately not going to be the case. Top 4, though, is interesting. We have Gasly, Leclerc, Verstappen, and Bottas, all within just a few tenths of each other. Leclerc actually eked this one out, but Gasly got second. And honestly, 13th place might not be great, but we will take it. Latifi also managed to beat out both the Astons, so 9th place does seem to be on the table, although I probably should check what the board is exactly looking for. 13th place here for Stroll, 18th for Latifi. Again, I'd say it's acceptable. We do need some more upgrades. I'll have to see if I might amend this rule a bit, but we'll see where we stand at the end of the season. Again, still early, can't complain too much. I am looking forward to seeing how Alpha keeps on, if they can keep this up though. That's going to be interesting. So drivers, Gasly still in the lead, Bottas still second, Verstappen and Leclerc both jumping up. And for the constructors, Alpha still has huge advantage here. We are actually 9th still. McLaren managed to eke out a point there. Well, last race, so hopefully we can get some points soon ourselves. We actually have a minor regulation vote here, so we can either vote for cooling or airflow. Now, what's actually going to be most beneficial to us is cooling focus changes, mainly because, again, we have very limited research. Again, we'll have to see. Might do research at the end of the season, but that will be it. So cooling would benefit us more than getting hit with airflow, so we're going to vote for that. Car development report. As you can see, we've lost out a little bit here in the dirty air department. That's fine. We actually have development points here for David Weather, one of them, and we're going to put that into high-speed downforce. We actually have points here for our race engineers too. I'm going to put that into the pit crew management for both of them. Should come as a surprise. And the board is still very happy with us, so I would assume that they're aiming at 9th or above. So we still have a pretty chill season. The long-term objective, though, is potentially going to be a disappointment. We'll see, though. We have the Austrian Grand Prix in 4 days, and we'll also have a design coming in on race day. So unfortunately, not much we can do that. We are going to refurbish the Weather Center immediately, and hopefully we can score some points in this race. I am switching out the engines and the gearboxes, the RSs for each session, just to make sure that they're used, so that if we have, say, another bad quali where we're 17th and 18th, we can actually go ahead and get some spare parts going. We've had another bad quali, which isn't that surprising, 16th and 18th, but on the positive side, we are now in a position where we can start taking penalties. That sounds wrong, but we are in a position where we can start taking penalties. Apparently, well, not apparently, we are going to be doing so. We're going to get extra engines, extra ERSs. Now, we can't get an extra gearbox because frankly we haven't used all 4 yet, but that shouldn't be a problem. Having extra engines in particular and the RSs is still going to be good. We have a lot of money. We're not going to reach the cost gap. There is literally no reason not to do this. Unless if we want to make the game harder on ourselves, of course, which could be a consideration. But as you can see, we have taken penalties. Both drives will be starting at the end there for Australia. And we'll see if we maybe claw our way into the points for this one. Let's see how it goes. Probably our worst race so far this season. Well, it is our worst race so far this season, but it's just a 3rd race, so not really that applicable. Both drivers have had a plethora of minor errors, which means that we're currently in 17th and 19th. But then again, don't really a track I think we would have gotten into the points on. Unfortunately, both the Alphas not had a good race. Gasly in 8th, Bottas in 10th. And as you can see, we have the Red Bulls, then the Ferraris, then the Alpines. So, excuse me. So again, not the best race weekend for us, or Alpha for that matter, but it is what it is. Not all is bad. We did get a new design finish, the Sidepods, which will be a help. We actually got 2 designs done, the Rear Wing as well. Next race is in 11 days, so we should have time to make the Rear Wing, and I think 1 side pod. We'll see exactly. Also, Stroll here got himself a breaking point, which is amazing. And with that, let's see how long it would take us if we wanted to manufacture these side pods rushed. We can actually get them done in time, and I'm just gonna, again, we don't have cost cap issues. We're gonna rush 4 of them. That'll make sure that we have them done for the race. And we're going to do, of course, the same here with the rear wing. Going to be manufacturing 4 of them. And as you can see, we just do that normal. And we'll get more than enough of them in time for the race itself. Car part research is unlocked. Won't touch this. Should probably have seen this before I started, unfortunately. We are getting the cooling focus changes. Good. But as I said, should probably check the stats here because my man apparently has a bunch of points. But they will always go into the underfloor. It's just more value, so didn't actually have an effect, and only the others have points to invest. So we're actually good. A great race. Okay, so the board is actually happy with us as long as we beat the Astons. Not something we'll be able to say next season, I think, but pretty good. With that said, though, we are gonna have to develop new parts, and let's just double check it. I know that I need a chassis, but I think, is that the only thing? Yeah, we need to make a chassis, and then we can actually start the next development cycle. So let's get the chassis underway first and foremost. Still 14 days until the next ATR period, which means that we kind of have... Well, I have poorly timed this because it would be best if you could use CFD and then make another chassis. But it's going to be the wrong way around. It's not great, but it's not the worst thing either. We can deal with it. And this will boost our chassis slightly. Again, our chassis is basically the worst on the grid. So we still have some work ahead of us. Let's just put it like that, on getting this thing to actually be viable. So 5 engineers, intense. It'll be done in 25 days. Let's get cooking. And we are, of course, immediately going to make another underfloor. It's just the best bang for our buck. And already our underfloor is very, very good. So we'll see exactly how good we can make it. We could go for low speed performance here. It would basically keep the high speed at the status quo, more or less. And I think it might be worth it because with this, we kind of balance them out so they get close to each other. And after that, we can try and do some optimized aerodynamics, which actually boosts both of them, well, all 3 of the downforces equally. But it does have a bad effect on the drag, so we'll see. I think we are going to do... Again, the high-speed boost would be really, really nice. Don't get me wrong. But we do need to get... We could specialize ourselves for high-speed tracks, that's the thing. But I think we're going to go with a balanced approach this season. We're going to just try and get a good balanced ground view. Ground setup? I don't know how to explain it. I want to try and balance all of the parts for next season when we can start using CFD and wind tunnel on the underfloor again. So that is going to be the goal this season. Balance the underfloor and then see where we take it from there. So that is the underfloor, that is the chassis, and hopefully this will actually boost us into good territory. Now with the upgrades that we did get, the rear wing and the side pods, we'll put them on, and we'll see where our car ends up. We were around the 15th for this. Now we do have gotten a boost on our top speed and our DRS speed. Still, we do lack cornering. It's our biggest weakness. And again, top speed and acceleration isn't really super important. Good cornering ability is, but if we have a look at ourselves compared to Aston, we are slightly ahead of them. Not by a lot. We are way ahead in medium and high speed, less in the low speed. And just barely better in the dirty aspects for low speed cornering. The Hasses, they have us beat by a lot. We're gonna have to put in some work here. And who else is close to us? The Alphas? Not really, they also have us beat, so we're getting closer to, again, kind of having a midfield fight, but Kai is still lacking quite a bit. With that said though, let's head to Italy and see where we stack up with these new upgrades. Not our worst quality ever. We actually made it into Q2 here with Stroll. Latifi made it past one of the Hazards, so not the worst. Upgrades
It's race day.
kind of helping already. I guess we won't be taking punishments here. And the race strategy is once again probably going to be soft to medium. Maybe even a two-stopper. We'll see. It is potentially the quickest strategy here. The problem with it is long pit lane though. So again, soft just being quicker for about 10 laps. Not even that. Yeah, one stopper medium to hard is the best to play here. That's my bad. It's also long pit lane. I somehow misread this, but yeah. With this, the softs are only going to be quicker for 3 laps. We don't want softs here. It's just not worth it. So medium to hard or hard to medium is going to be the play here. And I think we might do some shenanigans here and start on the hards, go in the medium for the final stint. And when are they expected to pit if they start on the hards? Starting on the hards, they're expected to pit around lap 44. If they start on mediums, lap 26. We're going to split the strategy. We're going to put Latifi on the medium to hard. But because we're starting to slow lower down the field, we are going to do this. We're going to try and get the pit stop done a little bit earlier. And we'll see exactly what we do here with Stroll. I think this is the play. Pitting potentially a couple laps earlier. We'll see. But I think that should be okay. So hopefully we can nab some points there. Everything is looking good. Let's overfuel the cars, and then I think we might be in for potentially here a chance of nabbing our first points this season. We'll see exactly how it goes. Again, the AI cars are running parts that are starting to suffer. We're running about a second slower than the Red Bulls for Stroll, so we could have some possibilities here. We'll see. Now, unfortunately for us, this race start hasn't actually gone as expected. As you can see, Stroll is 3.5 seconds behind Magnussen, but Magnussen does have the advantage of a DRS train that has been going all the way up to 4th place here with Gasly, and that DRS train is moving 2-3 tenths quicker than us each lap, unfortunately. So we'll see what we do there. Latifi's done well as well. He's making his way upwards. But, yeah, the DRS train not having any gaps is causing us some pain here for Stroll. So, hopefully we can make something happen. We'll see. There is a soft runner here. There are some medium runners that will be pitting early compared to us. So, maybe we can take advantage. But right now it looks kind of grim. We've had a crash here, show. He's back to moving, which means no safety car. We are getting closer to Stroll's pit window. It's not great. Don't get me wrong, as you can see, estimated exit position is 18th.
Okay, so boxes left.
We did get overtaken immediately, but somehow we have straight up been able to hold up that Ferrari pretty badly. Like, basically kept it on lock. And as you can see, we're coming out in 15th, way behind Magnussen, good 10 seconds. Tire-wise, we will have a small advantage, but it's going to be difficult to make this work till the end of the race. So let's see if we can make something happen, like a safety car or anything that could benefit us. Latifi doing okay, fighting the AlphaTauris. We've had a multiple cars crashed incident, as you can see. Merc is involved once again. Both Mercs crashing by looks of things. So that'll benefit us somewhat.
Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one.
Okay, locked up and hit the back of his teammate. Not much you can do about that. But that does actually benefit us. And because Ricciardo here has mainly been driving this DRS train, he's actually been slowing down the other cars enough that we have been able to take advantage. There's actually a lot of cars pitting. I think we're going to be staying out here. There's just no reason for us to pit. It's not a full safety car, and we're now technically up in the points. So we'll see. It'll depend on, of course, the tires they go on. They're going on older softs with... Okay. That benefits us actually immensely. Also, as you can see, Stroll is almost up into the DRS train here, going up to Bottas. But Bottas should be quicker than us, so what we are going to do here is deploy. We're going to push, and we're going to try and close down that little bit of a gap, because if we can latch onto this DRS train, we're going to make it a lot harder for the cars behind to catch us. And with a little over 15 laps to go here, let's see if we can actually score points. Latifi is now up into 14th as well. He is running the harder tire though, and honestly, there's not really much we can do for him. He'll just have to try and do his best. Now that we are in the DRS train, we're going to tune down fuel usage. We want to save something closer towards the end. And we're also going to try and recharge here. And of course, it's a risk recharging. We might end up in a position here where we get detached. So I'm going to play it slow and be back in a little bit when we maybe have something happening here. But looks promising. Unfortunately, Magnussen did have that little bit of lockup, which means he is now detached. But I think this should be okay. We do have a lot of energy. The only problem here is, of course, again, that the car in front of us is... They're all running hard tires, so we will have probably an advantage in tires, but it won't last forever. So, going to recharge properly, and then we'll see if we can get both in a single move. We have recharged. We are going for try and get the moves done here, giving an extra bit of fuel push here too. And we'll see if we can make it by Gasly and potentially Magnussen. It would be amazing if we did. We've also given Latifi a little bit of energy, but he couldn't really make anything happen there. He is fighting a Merc, so he will have a bad time. Honestly, just having him in that DRS train is probably the best we can hope for. Gasly has overtaken Magnussen. Can we get Magnussen here? Because we are using energy, we are using fuel. And so far, it hasn't actually yielded any results. Might need to just go back to recharging again, as you can see here. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get the move done, so... Going to have to go back to harvesting, and hopefully we can get something done within these last 10 laps there. We are getting close to the end here, just a couple of laps remaining. Verstappen is about to start his final lap. We're starting our second to last lap, I believe. Yep, as you can see, we're a minute behind. But we're currently in the points, and we are fighting Gasly for that, well, in order to try and double our points here. So we did actually get by, and hopefully we can stay ahead of him. Gasly has been kind of slow. We did get overtaken by Ocon. We couldn't really latch onto it. We got blocked by... we kind of got blocked there by the Aston of Show. But we are now in the points. Latifi running 14th. I've been mainly focusing on Stroll, unfortunately, but Latifi still has a potentially good performance here. And we're just going to go full on attack here, try and maintain, put the DRS to defend. Sorry, not DRS, ERS to defend. The only concern here would be the fuel. So let's tune it down, just to be on the safe side. But I think we might be taking our first points here, and we are. So first point of the season in Italy.
The flag.
Very, very good. Can't complain. And that is honestly what we like to see. Stroll in 9th. However, the Alphas have really fallen off, as you can see here. They had a good start to the season. They're not doing so well right now. Red Bull dominating, Ferrari dominating. Merc's just having a bad time. They kind of took each other out. Not much you can do with that. But the Aston's in kind of no man's land here. Driver Championship then, we have Verstappen moving up in, well, Verstappen in lead. Again, Gasly is now in 4th. He's not having a good time. And both Ferrari and Red Bull have overtaken Alpha now. And Alpine is closing in. But hopefully we'll see some better performance from the Mercs. We stay put, even though we gain points. Because, well, the others have more. Hopefully we can get up to 6 by the end of the season. I think that is going to be our goal, although it's probably a bit conservative, but honestly, it's kind of what we can expect. We are not the quick. The restrictions and the fact that our drivers are fairly slow is definitely having an effect, and that is kind of what we'd like to see. Latifi gets a point now, 78 overall, 70 braking. My bad. And we have some important emailers apparently. So rail wings are done. The ATR periods, new ATR period has started. Car development report again. We're bettering in acceleration. We're still pretty bad on the cornering aspects. Financial reports, we're exceeding expectations. Again, financial report, we have money. End of financial report. But yeah, next race here in Miami. We'll see. We do have top speed. There is a very long straight. Might be able to make something work. That chassis, however, will not be manufactured in time. It's just not happening. So we're going to be rushing 3 of them. Because what we're actually going to be doing now is immediately making a new chassis. So let's go ahead and develop that. A new chassis. And we're going to be putting all of our CFD and our wind tunnel allows into it. It won't be a huge boost, but as you can see, the percentages are going up, which is what we like to see. And this chassis will actually boost us a little bit more than the one we made last time, which is nice to see. And even with this, we won't be too far ahead. Let's switch to race performance, see if that helps. And there we go. We now have a middle of the grid chassis. We're still lacking in airflow, but the drag reduction is starting to look neat, and it's actually going to speed us up quite a bit here in terms of the top speed. So can't complain too much. Put in 5 engineers, get it on intense, and the chassis will be done in 25 days. So again, not too bad, can't complain. And with that, I think we're ready for the next race. Let's see if we can score back-to-back points. Pretty acceptable quali. 13th and 16th, not the worst thing we've ever done. Now, most of the cars on track have engines that are hitting the yellow zones and some gearboxes that are also starting to get low. So this is potentially where we could do some, well, surprise points. Pit lane 24 seconds, low chance of safety cars. The performance is fairly simple. They don't really want to use the softs. They're just quicker than the mediums for 3 laps. Hards here is actually the best option if we had saved 2 sets, which we didn't because I didn't think about that. But yeah, don't want to use the softs. 1 stopper, won't really work, especially since we usually overfuel the car. It would have been amazing to have 2 sets of hards here, but as I said, I forgot about that, so we don't. So what we are going to do, what I think, is potentially start on the hards and go medium. I think that is actually our best option here. Start on the hards, they will be the better tire, see if we can lash onto the cars in front. And hopefully we can pull that off. That is, as I said, probably going to be our best bet. See if we can get ourselves into a fast DRS train. The hards will very quickly become the best tire, as we saw. Taking into consideration here, soft to hard, it's almost a tenth a lap. So it'll just take 4 or 5 laps. Harder is better. Medium to hard, it's 1.5 tenths. You gain 300. So again, just 5 laps there too before the hards become the faster tire. So we're starting on the faster tire, trying to get an advantage, trying to move up the grid. And then hopefully once we start pitting, we can latch onto a better DRS train. That's going to be the goal here, I think. So with that, let's get into the race and see where we stack up. The first 10 laps of the race have, well, been completed. Verstappen's about to cross the line. We're up into 11th here with Stroll. Verstappen just kind of running away with it, as we've gotten used to. We have a DRS train up to 8th. The rest of them is in the DRS train up to 2nd. Latifi 17 can't really do much. It is a... he's kind of stuck in a DRS train of his own. We did get 2 positions off the line, which is great. And currently, if we have a quick look here at the current car condition of our competitors, the Ferraris both running 50% engines. They're going to start suffering. Verstappen, even with a broken engine, is still dominating, so that is scary. But as you can see, most of our competitors are running items that aren't too good. Let's just put it like that. Particularly the McLarens have definitely suffered, so we might have a very good chance of points here. And in terms of tires, we are starting on the hards, then going medium, and hopefully we can make something out of this. We'll see where we stack up at the first pit stop, a little before lap 30. We have entered the pit window, as you can see. Alonso is currently pitting. So what I'm thinking we're going to do here is just go full on attack, and we have Ocon and Gasly, and because, well, Alonso pitted, we kind of got left behind. So we're going to be pitting now, and we're going to see if we can jump Ocon and Gasly maybe. That's going to be the idea. And I think we're going to do the same here for Latifi. We're going to be pitting a little bit earlier than anticipated. And by doing so, we can hopefully get some jumps going here now during the pit stops. So Gasly, Ocon kept on going. And the goal here will be to get ahead of them. Luckily enough, we came out ahead of Schumacher. But we still have to contend with Alonso. We still have to contend with Vettel. And hopefully here we can make something out of this. Latifi now should also be pitting shortly, I hope. Yep, he is. So let's see if we can actually get something out of this for Stroll. And we have saved up a little bit of energy before this, but we're actually kind of struggling to keep up with just Alonso here. So let's try and get into the same DRS train as him. And hopefully that will allow us to jump Ocon, Russell. Let's see now if we actually jump Ocon. We did jump Ocon, so that is good. And I had to say there are 3 cars that still need to... They'll probably be running these hards to the end. And the other car we wanted to jump, I don't think we actually managed, which was Bottas, but that is fine, honestly. I have been pushing way too hard, though, on Latifi's tires. I did do an opposite there. But so far, I'd say it's looking good. See if we can get ourselves past Vettel here. And then maybe if we're lucky, we can close down to Alonso. We did jump both Ocon and Gasly, so that is a positive. But I don't think we are going to close down to Stroll here. We're going to need Norris to Alonso. Although Norris could potentially hold them up enough that we can catch up. That's going to be the hope here. Again, Norris does have a pretty broken car at this stage, but he is on the better tire, which is the hards. So we'll see where we stand. We do have another pit stop coming around lap 42, 41. Again, we'll probably jump in a little bit earlier to see if we can jump someone in the pits. Let's see where we stand when we get there. Never mind. Immediately after saying that, we have Stroll in the wall.
Now we see the Williams here.
And that probably has ruined any chance of us getting points this race, unfortunately. So we do have damage to front wing. It's basically cut in half. And let's be honest here, if we pit, the mediums here probably aren't going to make it to the end, but we're going to have to gamble. According to this, lifetime is 33 laps. So they're going to be very busted, but they should bring us to the end. So it's what we're going to have to gamble on. We're also going to have to make new front wings after this because we're actually running out. that is unfortunately the situation here. We had a chance and, well, the wall denied us. So, last lap has just started. As you can see with Stroll, the tires are basically shot.
Okay, push hard.
Not much we can do about that. Latifi 2, we can try and have him overtake Schumacher. That's probably going to be the best thing we can really hope for. But generally here, it's just not been a good race here with the accident.
So what DRS?
Copy.
I don't know if the ERS battery really is empty, but okay. But yeah, not the best race there. The accident kind of screwed us. We were looking at potentially getting some points, but that's racing. It's very unfortunate though that we weren't able to take advantage here because again, everyone did have damaged cars, so it would have been nice. Red Bulls are dominating. Ferrari is a good second. Alfa Romeo is currently third, but the Mercs are coming back, so we'll see how that fight continues. Alpha was looking promising, but now they're kind of falling off hard, so hopefully we can make something happen there. But yeah, again, just a shame that the race weekend kind of ended up being ruined there. But that is how it goes sometimes. Next race, though, is Spain, which is usually a circuit we do well at, because, again, people do have broken car pieces. Let's get reactions for Prix up here a bit. Again, we're basically just leveling him to release him into the wild, so he can kick our asses later. Board's still happy with the race, though, so I guess I can't be too upset. What I should do is, what they're telling me here, we're lacking front wings, and it's a concern. So with this, we'll have 2 more for the next race, and that should be fine, making 3 more. We actually did have I forgot to mention this, but Latifi broke a front wing in practice. Boardroom is degrading. I don't care about that, honestly. Same for the hospitality area, which sounds mean. But we'll immediately here just jump into the Spanish Grand Prix and see if we can get a better result here than we did at Miami. Now, we do actually have the new chassis manufactured now. I almost forgot. It's a small upgrade, let's be honest, but it's going to help with the top speed. So it's going to make our cooling worse, but honestly, not really a problem. And honestly, should be okay. Now, the rest of the pieces are all put on. We are going to be going through the practices here. And honestly, I'm looking forward to Spain and seeing what we can do. Hopefully, better than we expect to some degree, but we'll have to see exactly how it plays out. And yeah, looking forward to it. It should be a good race. Hopefully, that is. Well, Spain just became a bit more annoying. As you can see here, Stroll has retired. Not from an accident, but actually
P0.
running out of fuel. Straight up. So Latifi came in as planned. Stroll did not. So shame that that bug is still there, where you get blocked going into the pit lane. So you just do another lap rather than, you know, slow down, slot in. Hopefully this will be enough to get us into Q2, but even then I am actually unsure if we're allowed to run again because, well, we'll see now. But pace-wise, we're not too far off, honestly. But it's still a bit disappointing that potentially our race has been ruined before it even began. We'll see here. We are going to be sending Latifi out once more. It's just kind of what we have to do. He is going to be out if we don't send him out, and even if you use another set of fresh tires, we'll still have 2 for the race, so not really too concerning. And Latifi did not make it out, unfortunately, but I am curious to see what happens now if Stroll 2 is out. He is not. He's actually in still, but will we be allowed to do the run? Because it's been a while since this last happened, so I can't honestly not remember. I know, we're in the race itself, so big shame, honestly. We had a huge opportunity here. Guess that's just how it goes. We are starting 15th and 17th. So again, just a bit disappointing in terms of performance from the compounds here. Softs are going to be quicker for 20 laps compared to mediums. And mediums are going to be quicker than the hards for almost 40 laps. So we do want to do something soft-medium, one-stopper, or soft-medium, soft. That would be ideal. 24-second pit lane. So not the longest. Decent chance of a safety car at 60%. We haven't had many this season, honestly. I think we've only had 1. So time for something to roll our way. And as you can see, Pretty high chance there that the AI could choose a decent strategy. And would it be better to pit earlier and put 20 laps on each of these? Not really, but I'm thinking we do this, like just pit slightly earlier than what is expected. And I think that will be good, hopefully. But again, we do have 2 fresh sets of softs. It's just a big shame that we couldn't get that Q2 run done. Bit sad, honestly. But let's get in the race. Over fuel by lap, we're gonna do soft, medium, soft, and hopefully have a better race than we did quali. Let's see how it goes. We've had an incredibly good start here. As you can see, we started 15th. It's lap 4. Stroll is now up into 10th. The points, kind of getting detached here from the DRS train, unfortunately. But lapping fairly okay. Again, still, we're kind of getting detached. Might have to push a little bit here. Forgot to overfuel. That's my bad. But it's just how things be. So Latifi, 13th. He's 2. Is doing well, so looking forward to seeing how this goes. There's been an incident. Multiple cars crashed. We have yellows, Bottas among them. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually boost us up the gears, and it doesn't look like we're going to get a safety car. Looks like, yeah, an Alpine and the Alpha involved here. Okay, so minor damage to both cars. No wonder we didn't get a safety car. Yeah, Stroll in 10th, Latifi now up to 11th. It's looking promising for sure. So hopefully we can get a little bit further up with both cars here. That would be amazing. We are getting close to the pit window. As you can see, Stroll has way less durability in his tires than Latifi does. And the reason for this is twofold. We pushed to try and get into the DRS train. Didn't really work. And then once he actually caught up, he ran wide. So it really backfired on us, unfortunately. So even if we use fuel, even if we push everything we had, it just didn't work. We've had a big crash here. Is it just a yellow or is it a safety car? Looks like everyone is still moving. So Albon there with an incident.
Now watch this. Here's the moments involving Albon. A definite collision there. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, so we're going to get Stroll in at the end of this lap. We're going to let Latifi push a little bit. And hopefully we can potentially close down this 2-second gap that we need to the cars in front. They're on old softs. They'll still, in theory, be about equal in terms of pace. So we'll have to see if we can make something do it. Hopefully we can get out. We can't get out ahead of these cars. That is actually very negative. But I'm thinking that we get Latifi in. We'll allow him to push one more lap, then we'll get him in. And we will give Stroll the overtake. And hopefully he can get Tsunoda before we waste a lot of time here. And this should also allow us to hopefully get Schumacher pretty quick. So Latifi is going to do... There we go. He has passed. Let's get him in for his pit stop too. And we'll see here if Stroll can actually jump Alonso and Norris. That is the goal here. We'll see once they actually decide to pit, which should be fairly soon, by the looks of things here. Verstappen is pitting from first. Let's see if Norris and Alonso actually do pit. Both of them are pitting. Can Stroll jump them? Doesn't look like we are going to be able to make that happen. Oh, jump one of them. So, kind of successful, but at the same time, not really. And Alonso and Norris went on to the mediums. We have some hard runners, which are just straight up going to suffer. So, I'd say we're looking good in this race. Let's see where we're at the end. Unfortunately, as it usually goes, we have had an incident. Stroll had a lockup. Minor damage to the underfloor, so we can't really call him in and do anything. There's nothing here we really can do. We did allow Alonso to overtake us, mainly so we could get DRS support. But Stroll immediately looks up and makes that redundant. He's now 6 seconds behind, which means that we really can't do anything about it. It puts us in a really, really bad spot. We now have Gasly on our tail, but if we were at one point up into 7th there, so with now the damage to the underfloor, we'll see if we maybe manage to scrounge out a point from this race. It'll be difficult.
Sounds like
We are going to be getting both Stroll and Latifi in here now for the final pit stop. As you can see, we lost out to Gasly, lost out to Alonso. We're pretty far down, so even if we pit,
Bottas is pitted.
I don't think we're gonna get into a
Go
position
push.
where we can actually take advantage in any way, shape, or form. So it's just getting to the end here, basically, and hopefully being in the points when we get there. So we just barely didn't make it out ahead of Albon, which is unfortunate, but honestly okay. It's not the worst thing ever. I think we'll be able to immediately just overtake him, and we did. So no big concern there. The other cars are now pitting as well, so trying to overtake it is going to be... I don't think we're going to be able to
and there's
make
an
it
overtake
on the pit
from
stops.
Williams.
And if they'd waited a lap or two more, then maybe we could have done something. Now, out of the cars in front of us here, a lot of them are running older tires, Magnus and Rick Vettel in particular, but they'll make it to the end, so getting back into the points is going to be a bit of a challenge, particularly with a damaged car. Magnussen and Vettel actually decided to do another pit stop, getting us back up in the 10th, Latifi in 13th, so potentially, yeah, we could get lucky and get at least 1 point. We'll see. 10 laps to go. Well, 11. But potential is here. And if we're lucky, we might be able to get something more out of it. It's just a shame that the races this episode have mainly been, you know, destroyed by one singular mistake. It's a bit unfortunate, but that's racing, and we'll deal with it. We have used our entire ERS battery, but we are potentially now within striking distance of Gasly. We are getting DRS. We have 1 lap to make this happen, basically.
2 laps to go.
Well, 2 laps to go. We'll have to see if we can actually make it work. It is a bit
Just do lift and coasting.
of a gamble here, particularly with the tires, if you can make them last until the end. But we kind of had to push to even catch up here, so I think we just go full on attack to the end. We gamble, Latifi, just leave him at normal or standard, basically. Won't really matter too much. He won't be able to attack anyways. And of course, the
Was that a lock-up on
the
the
back
track?
marker made us lose out a little bit in terms of Gasly. And I don't think we have anything here that can really give us what we need to get the overtake done, but we will try.
That would be check
And
flag.
probably
checkered
push
flag.
the little fuel that we have it to the end. We shall
I
see.
think there's still something we're missing.
But
Was a hard one. Go
I don't
in
think
and
we
pick
are.
up rubber.
we're not getting Gasly. We were close, but show the Aston did cause some issues. We did get a singular point though. We'll take that. Could have been more, but of course, driver error, like in Miami, did us some pain here. But improvement for both our drivers. Now, next race is going to be painful, in the sense that the Spain race is basically when most of the cars are at the lowest. Most of them are running damaged engines, damaged gearboxes, you name it. And as a result, it's usually where you have your best chance as a lower end team to score points, because most of the cars are on the same page, but not everything goes as planned. Both chassis and front wing manufacturing is complete, which is good. Get another point in braking here for good old Stroll. And I think we're actually going to end this part here, mainly because we are 6 races into the season with 22 races. I'm going to split this season into 3 parts, I think. So the next part we'll do 8 races, and then the part after that we'll do the remaining 8 end of season. And I think that should work, provided of course we get enough footage. Outside of that, I'll make longer episodes, but I'm thinking this is a good cutoff point. Now this is a little bit of a late episode, mainly because we had our first proper summer day today, and I stayed out a little bit longer and managed to get a pretty decent sunburn. But that's beside the point. Apologies for being late. I hope you still enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you do enjoy. It helps me out greatly. Thank you in advance. And yeah, hope to see you next time. Bye bye. Glad you enjoy my videos.